right?
Why isn't theirs connected?
What's that?
Why isn't theirs connected? What is
Why
that?
aren't these two connected?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the high point of a road,
Okay.
right? And they can get this guy in here, and this guy in here. Technically, yeah, look, this was meant to service this lot, right? And what did I say? What's the one constant, keeping it cheap? You saved a little bit of money not digging here. And that's why they don't go through. All right. So I got a connection point, I've got an invert, I've got surfaces. Let's go, and unfortunately I have a reduced, but this is your pipe networks. Pipe network creation tools. And our dialog appears. I will call this SAN. And I have some part lists that I hope work. And I'm going to tell you, for your utility design, you'd probably be better off using your EG-FG combined. And that's why you're going to keep it in here. We'll bring it into, again, the residential grading later. Otherwise, you know, if we put a structure here and clicked over here, we'd have to switch surfaces. If we came off our road and went under this existing lot, we'd have to switch surfaces. So this provides me with one point of calculation. And I can give this some label style. Do I want a grate or a rim on a manhole? What's that? A rim, right? I don't want water going into this. I don't want a grate, so I'll go with this. I guess that looks good. And length, material, slope, we'll leave that on. And here is another one of the wonderful Civil 3D toolbars. And what we have here are, let's start here. These are your network settings. I went through this. These are your layout settings. I chose the default styles for the labels when I created it. They're shown here. I chose the default part list. It's here. It tells you what layers they're going to go to and naming templates, which I'm not really too concerned about. And it's your surface. And you can come here and change these as you want, as you lay it out. But nothing will remain dynamic to this. This will only work for newly created parts. All right. I could, though, very easily change my part list if I needed to. Over here, you have a button to change your target surface if you want, and you didn't have that EG, FG. You could change back between EG and FG as you needed. And here you could put reference alignments in there. You're not required to add stationing to these labels, so I would not worry about this. Features you don't need. And here's the part list that I could change. This is your part list being displayed. And it shows you every part in that list. And I don't have much in here, and sanitary part lists are usually pretty slim compared to Storm or any other that you may make. And again, you will not see neat, common looking names like this. What you're going to see is like concentric, round, circular structure, right? Just find one that seems to fit. Because there are ways to get around it, because you don't want to print out that big, huge name. All right, but we'll get into that. So I choose my parts. And here are my pipes. And here are my structures. I chose a manhole, 8-inch PVC. And Civil 3D was always built upon start high, work low with parts. Later on, they gave you the ability with this button to change it, but know that default is high to low, and you want to get your pipe directions correct so it knows how to compute flows. So I'm going to click this button, and you can see you can draw pipes and structures, which I'm going to do, but you also have the ability to lay down pipes only or structures only. All right, so I know I have a high point in my road. And if I'm not mistaken, it's right about here. And I wonder if I really need a sewer here. All right, because I'm looking at these contours. That's the high point. I see the V's pointing away from each other. Over here, they're pointing to each other, so a bit of a low point. But I might be able to get one sewer down this way. And maybe get these guys connecting right directly here, right? So I think I only need a sewer from like here. And I'm going to run directly downhill now. And I have my alignments turned on. I can snap directly to the center lines. And I'm going to shift, hold down your shift button, right click your mouse, your snap menu comes up. And I'm a big fan of leaving minimal snaps on. But once you get here, you can override any snap you want. And a lot of times, again, with your fingers on the keyboard, you can type letters really quick to override these. So you can type E, M, I, A, and get them all. I usually just do a shift right click A, and it's right, and I can go the apparent intersection of this and that, but I didn't want that really. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to come in and connect over to this guy. So what I would probably do is take this, shift right click, I have X for my extension snap, hover over the endpoint, and it's not going to work with that. But we'll come in and we'll put this up. And I've got my connection. So when I'm looking at pipes, and I'm a hydro geek, H&H, I live for it. What do I see here? What is this a model of for pipe flow? Inefficiency, right? Does water flow? Does water stop on a dime, turn and go? No. It has its own route. It's momentum driven. If I can, when I can, I get around this by A, leaving this inflow pipe high and putting a drop, right? I can relieve energy that way, or provide an angle that is greater than 90. Even if I did this, hydraulically I am better off. All right? You do not want to make angles less than 90, acute angles between pipes. Oh, we do have a eraser. All right. So let's come up over to my layers and let's try sand. Oop. And there we go. Why am I not seeing any layers like I think I should? Here we go. And we have some sanitary. All right, so are we putting in a new manhole here?
No,
No.
existing.
We already have one, it is existing. So I can remove that. Or I can just change, you can make a style that really doesn't print, call it null. I may have one in here. Here we go, sand null. It really just is a tiny little dot, you don't even see it. But allows me to change this label and leave a label on here for just the invert. Right, this is the structure there. Remember I told you you can take these labels and make anything you want. Right now this one has given us the structure name, which is manhole. Oh wait, the structure name is the number, I'm sorry. The description, which is manhole, the rim elevation, and the invert. But I could very easily have it give me, hopefully, just the invert, or no. What if I wanted it just the invert? What would I do?
You could just add a new.
Right? Make a copy. This one already has the invert in there. I just got to delete those portions. I could just call this C plan invert. Go to my layout. I have all of these, the inflow and the outflow of the inverts. If I just delete the description, it's going to warn me that there are objects attached to this, like the grate and this. But now we got the inflows attached. Here's the outflow. Invert out, invert in, hit OK. Now I have a style that just shows invert. And I probably shouldn't have used the color 30 because it's the same as the existing. But I could put this right underneath the existing label and just see only that. All right, let's come back over here and look at util, existing, sanitary. Let's make these guys gray. And now you can see the difference between the existing and proposed, right? Where we have our proposed pipe coming in to the existing gray structure, the gray label for the existing and the gray pipe, and we just supplement it with only a proposed invert label. All right. Here's our other labels. We would, of course, put them to an area where they will print nicely. And again, we know that if our scale down here is set, we're seeing them at the exact same size they're going to print. Now, I've got a design. What do I need to do with this design? Is this done? If I just go and connect all these homes, is water going to flow through this? I need to size it, but what else do I need to do to make sure water is going to flow through this?
Set the elevation.
Set the elevations, right? I got to make sure I'm all properly pitched. The computer software, if I have it set up right, it may have roughed something out. But number one, if I was in AutoCAD, it's all at 0, so I would definitely have to go around and assign elevations to all labels. But similar here, I've got to get a profile so I can see this thing and see how it's going to drain. Do you want to see how easy it is to get a profile of this? Do you know how easy it is to get a profile?
The existing alignment?
What's that?
Can you use the existing alignment?
You can do that for your plans. And you can show your existing utilities in this right of way down the roadway design, so you don't have to make profiles out the yin yang for everything, all right? But when I'm checking cover and design, I want that profile right over that pipe. That's how I'm going to check cover, all right? Also, I'm going to be able to check interferences. Crossings a lot better. Go to your Home tab. Go to your alignment. And there is Create Alignment from Network Parts. The magic is that it's also going to make a profile. You're going to select the upstream, the ending structure that you want, It's going to make an alignment, make a profile, and boom, you're going to be able to check instantly your design. So I've got my upstream part here. I've got my downstream part, and I got that little dot I made right down there. Notice it connected everything in between. Hit enter. It's going to give this the pipe network name and then put a counter on it in case I have more to do. It's going to give it a centerline style. Put stations on it. I really don't care. Again, it's not printing, but I might want it for reference. And here is the create profile dialog. That's the alignment it just made for you. SAN2, that was my network name. And apparently I made it number 1 some other time. But I'm going to put in the EG surface and the FG surface. And I'm going to give them different styles so that I can differentiate between them. And look at that, draw in profile view.
Why are you using them separate and not the combined version of them?
Because whenever I depict them, I want to see the difference. Where is existing and proposed? What's the difference? Am I putting a lot of cut on? Am I putting a lot of fill on? Right? It's the difference between the two that is really important for me. So again, I made that EG-FG surface solely for a calculation. I really have no need to show it until I start residential grading. Here, I still want to see a difference between existing and proposed, see how far off I am. And right, so, boy, does this not look good, does it? All right, I'm starting here. This isn't going to work at all. I got to find another way to get this out. So what do I got to do? I'm probably going to have to start here and feed this down that way. Not a big deal. But that is it, right? This is my high point over here. All the way down at station 8.5, 9. All right. Wow, down here. So, not a big deal. Watch this. Well, number 1, I can erase that. Number 2, I am going to right-click, select a part, edit network, and that's how I get that toolbar to show again. I am going to select one pipe, one manhole, right-click, select similar, and erase. Now I'm just going to start my network again. And we're going to start from, looks like this is the high point over around here, right? Based on the contours. So if that's the high point, let's start somewhere around here. Oh, I don't even need that because I can get this guy in here. I probably don't even need to run a sewer down this road. Let's see what happens if we run this guy from... All right, so this is what's going to go on here. Am I going to put the next manhole right here on the curb? No. I might want to use 2 manholes here, right? Let's try it going there to there. That looks pretty good as long as I don't need a inlet there, and it looks like I might, but we can always see later on. And I can check, there is a minimum distance between manholes, or a maximum spacing, I'm sorry, should check that. And we come in, we're going to connect that right to here. Over here I need a manhole, right? So I'm going to have to tie into that existing line. Let's look at this design. Again, alignment. Where'd you go? Alignment. Create from network parts.
When you deleted the previous pipe network, it automatically got rid of the profile.
What's that?
When you deleted the
When
previous.
I deleted the alignment, your profile goes bye-bye. It is that profile is fully dependent on that horizontal path.
Anything that it created, the formats, the layers, everything gets deleted with it.
No, not the layers. You'd have to purge them out if they're in there. But it'll delete the objects.
What
Again,
if you technically undo the whole thing?
what's
Would
that?
that delete the layers?
If you undid everything, yes, that would delete the layers. Yes. But I wanted to keep those layers actually in this case because they all had the same color assigned and I had already set it up. Does that one look like it might work?
It's a lot better.
Have a little better chance of working, right? Am I not trying to send water uphill this time? How easy was it just to get to this rough point? I did 2 of them. I laid out 2 designs. And all I did was click the points and then say make an alignment profile.
What about for the shorter road?
Shorter road. Oh, let's look at that. How many lots do I have down here? Right here, I don't have to service anybody, do I?
Right.
No.
And
this was
what
already
about these
serviced.
2 up here? Can they get here and here?
Okay.
All right. So, now, more fun.
So in the original one that you did before that didn't work, technically you neglected the cul-de-sac though, right?
Yeah, I didn't even look at the cul-de-sac yet. I still would have had to
Deal with
finish
it.
there, but my first shot looking at it,
Mhm.
it's not gonna work, impossible,
Okay.
all right? So again, my big lump of clay, erase those parts, start again. Now, more of my lump of clay. Type add labels. And did I talk about this dialogue yet? I think I did, right? And a little bit, and this has everything in there. Note labels, line, curve labels, alignment labels, parcel labels, profile view, section view, surface, intersection, pipe network, pressure network, survey figure, catchments, all the Civil 3D labels. Those are all Civil 3D objects except for this one category here, line curves. Pipe network. Look at that entire network profile. Choose your style you want. Click and looky there. I just got all my labels on there. Let me see if we can make this a little easier for you to see. What a horrible structure label. I personally hate background masks. Oh, that's my pipe label, profile label. They drive my eyes and plans batty. But when the boss wants them, what do?
Put them on.
Is there a way to override individual labels?
To what?
In Civil 3D, like on a network like that, is there a way to override individual labels to put a background on it if you need to?
No, just copy it.
Okay.
Take it, if I needed, there's a lot of times you need like one label for one
Yeah.
plan you're never gonna need again. I take something that's close, I copy it, and I just leave it in that plan.
Okay.
And that's a little bit easier for me to see. So, boy, wow, that was tough. All right. Looks a little too deep, doesn't it? Well, let's look what is out here. You can't, I gotta go back to the white background. All right, hang on. All right. You can't read it, but sanitary manhole, 36522 is the rim, 35406 is the invert, and that's over here. I have another one over here, right? How do I find the elevation? Here. What's the mathematical term I am looking for? Interpolation. All right. You know another way to find it geometrically? Draw a 3D polyline from 354.06, 367.29. Break it right there and snap to the endpoint. That's your invert. All right, but interpolation is the same thing. Draw it. You got to find your invert here. I am somewhere not 340. So 354, 367. Wow, that is a pretty big jump. 3P from the insert or the the node will work. Nope, center. There you go, from the center to the center. 3D polyline. I think your modify feature line commands work on that. No, they don't. But you can just go into your properties. That's 35406. And this one over here, 36729. And we do a 1-point break on that 3D polyline at the apparent intersection there. And we ID that endpoint and 361,575 is the elevation we want. Right click, copy. I like using my quick properties with pipes, and I turn on my inverts. So I can just go down. The ending invert here is actually going to be this, Control V. And I change it, and if I come back to my profile view, wow, did that go? I don't know if that,
Don't you have to go into profile and do the option that you did for the corridor, so when you make a change to the elevation, it automatically changes in the profile?
I'm looking at that right now. I just assigned that ending elevation there to that pipe, and now I should see any change if there wasn't. There really wasn't any change. It is that deep. But I don't need to connect that deep, do I? I can raise this pipe. That's as low as I am allowed to go. Nothing says I can't bring this up. So, I love working on my pipes in profile. And let me get back to a better background, because I can grip edit them. And I can either take it from here and in the middle and just move it up. These grips, these funky little diamond grips, have like these special magnetic features that will snap to each other and match up. And if I have two of them selected together, they will move together. So it's very easy for me to manipulate these pipes. What do I want to do here?
Make sure you have enough cover.
Yeah, and does it look like I have enough cover?
Maybe.
Yeah, again, bad styles for you guys to see this stuff. I guess, yeah, go ahead.
What, did you say you were going to well, you wanted us to draw polylines directly onto the profile in order to?
That's for water.
Oh, that's
Not,
for
that's only water, not for this. This is way too easy to pass up. All right, so I'm going to show my outer walls, and I don't want them to be cyan. Now you guys can see that a little bit better. Do I have enough cover there if each one of these grids is 5 feet? No. How do I fix that? Come back tomorrow and hope that the elves have come by and fixed it all for me and I'm ready to go?
Did lower the manhole next to it?
I could lower the manhole next to it. Maybe I might actually think of a more costly method to really fix this, and
You can regrade your corridor.
I could regrade my road, absolutely. But couldn't I just put another manhole in there? Right, get another vertical control point. So where are we roughly at, oh, again, horrible styles. That yellow is horrible, but that's, believe it or not, between station 4 and 5. So 450 is somewhere over the rainbow, right around here. Here's my pipe. I select a pipe, select any pipe or structure, right click, edit network. My dialog comes up, and I can go structure only. And I'm going to choose the insertion point here, but I want you to see something. And it's tough to see. Let's do this again. All right, let's try that again. Structures only, and I'm going to use to put it right at 450. You see this little glyph? It's like 2 boxes or sunglasses, right? That means you're going to connect to the pipe. If you don't see that glyph, you're not going to connect to the pipe. So make sure you see that glyph. And you should also notice, because you don't see the pipe crossing through, the structure is masking it. And not just masking it, but it also made 2 pipes there instead of 1. Now, again, this system is not as automatic as you thought. That's my new manhole I have selected. But you see, oh wow, it did show here. That's a new feature. It normally does not show here. And now that I'm back to this, look at this. Again, and again, bad colors. What I'm working with here, and you know why it's so tough, is because I have one company that was working with a white background, one company that was working with a black background. And you know what they both had? Colors that didn't work for each other, because it's all a matter of contrast, right? And you need to find colors that work best in both. So let me edit that structure style, get rid of that cyan, which is horrible on the white background. And then come back to something you can see. All right. So there it is. And again, I told you, if you select the 2 pipes, the special magnetic